Hello. In this video, I'm going to discuss the pitch for the digital artifact in BCM215, and we'll talk through the peer commentary feedback process and how to self-evaluate for your third blog post. If you're doing BCM241 as well as BCM215, please note that the assessment criteria for the pitch and the blogs are slightly different because we have different purposes in these subjects, although the tasks are similar. So do make sure that you understand the difference there. So the first step is to head over to the assessment cover sheet template folder and click on this, and you will see the cover sheets for the blog posts and the pitch. So download the pitch template, and you should see this. So please enter your details, your tutor name. You can just put a digital signature there, and then take a look at what's required for your pitch. So the pitch is a 2-minute video. That's a hard limit. We're expecting, basically 2 minutes on the dot. Whatever you do, don't go over. And then you have a 250 word minimum contextual blog post. So anything that you can't put in the pitch, you can put into the text of that post. So you'll record your video, you'll upload it, you'll embed it in that blog post, and then you will be able to reblog it to the subject blog. So the pitch should address the game media text, paratext, platform, product, practice, technology, whatever it is you're going to investigate and critically analyze for a public audience. That's what you're going to just really briefly summarize. You don't need a lot of detail about what the thing is in the pitch. Just tell us what it is briefly. More importantly is your project plan. What you intend to do and when you intend to do it. So this means if you're going to be doing a live streaming each week, or if you're going to be doing something different each week for your DA, or you're creating content of some kind, a table in the blog post of what you're doing when. Concrete dates. Tell us what you're doing in week 6, what you're doing in week 7, what you're doing in week 8, leading up to your beta progress report. Be specific. It's fine if you don't, eventually stick to those dates, or you change direction. That's okay. But we want you to demonstrate your ability to plan. Then we need a very brief draft summary of your analytical framework of at least 3 concepts. What are the 3 concepts that you are going to be drawing on for your interpretation and your argument of the analysis of your game media text? Here, links and evidence of research is excellent, and we will expect to see that, but you don't have to do the analysis, right? This is just where you're telling us what you're going to do. Then you have to tell us what media format and platforms you're going to be using, right? So maybe you're going to create cosplay. Maybe you're going to make a series of short video essays or live stream or whatever. You're going to have to package that up as well at the end, like a summary, a highlights reel. How are you going to conduct your analysis over the session? How are you going to do that? How are you going to present that to a public audience? And then how are you going to bring it all together for the report at the end of week 13? You can indicate in your contextual post any background research that you think is going to be useful. So lots of links there to academic and news and media scholarly sources. And then you wanted to tell us about the utility of your approach and describe who you think your audience is. Now, be specific. Don't just say, I'm just going to be, talking to anyone that's interested in this topic, right? That doesn't help us at all. If you're analyzing the change of massively multiplayer games from 2010 to 2015, who's the audience for that? Is it fans of MMOs? Is it someone who has never heard of an MMO and is doing some research and trying to find out about them? Is it for game designers that might need a quick primer on how the industry has changed over time? Be specific, as specific as you can, about who you think your audience might be. You also need to describe how you're going to get public feedback. So one of the things that's really important for this is that you're going to be sharing early examples of your work for your DA. It might be streams, it might be a draft script, but you're going to be sharing that on Reddit, on Facebook, on Twitter, maybe in the Discord or other Discords. So you have to describe how you're going to get feedback. On this cover sheet, you will see options for getting feedback for your work. You can cross out these two and just have grade only. That's a fine option. Maybe you just want the grade and filling in of the rubric. That's fine as well. Or maybe you want a grade, rubric, and a couple of short comments about how to improve your work. This is where you indicate the level of feedback that you're after. Once you've done that, you're going to post it, you're going to reblog it, and then you're going to put your pitch link here. Doesn't stop there, however. Once you've posted your pitch to the blog and reblogged it to the subject blog, you will come to the feedback schedule, BCM215 pitch peer feedback schedule link. Click on this link, and that will take you to this document. You will then post the URL, the link to your pitch in this document. So you'll scroll down, you'll find your name, say Victoria here, Victoria Saros, and then you'll post your link in this gap. Then it comes to blog post and your peer feedback. So for this task, you are going to be commenting on 3 pitches and providing feedback. So Victoria, for example, has her pitch here, and then she's going to find her surname mentioned 3 times in the list. So Victoria is going to be commenting on Benjamin, Ethan, and Shalise. Now, if someone hasn't posted their blog post, their pitch, by the time you come to comment, because remember this blog post will be due week 5, so you only have a week to do this, you will pick another link. So perhaps Madeline here has submitted her pitch. You will come in here and you will put your last name here, indicating that you're going to be commenting on this one because one of yours is missing. Again, if all 3 of them are missing, just put your name in as many times as you need it. So that will help distribute the comments. So what do you do when it comes to providing peer feedback? Okay. This is where that pitch criteria comes into play. Sorry, that's the wrong one. Here we go here. All right, so when you are providing feedback, use the pitch criteria to help you structure your feedback. So the first criteria is the sophistication and quality of the critical analysis using an appropriate analytical framework. Now you have to remember that the pitch, so this is for both the pitch and the beta. So the sophistication and quality here is whether the pitch and the contextual blog post gives you a good enough understanding of the analytical framework that's being proposed. It won't have done the analysis yet, but you still need to get a sense from the pitch that there's a firm enough ground and sense of understanding of the 3 concepts that are being used in the pitch. Does the presenter have a good understanding of the concepts they are going to be using, right? Now that then leads to the second criteria, the degree of application of research supporting the critical analysis from a range of sources, including subject materials, popular news media, academic and scholarly texts. Remember, you don't have to have done the research, but the presenter should be giving a clear indication of how they're going to do the research. For example, someone might be doing a feminist critique of NPCs in role-playing games. What are the sources they're drawing on? What kinds of analysis have scholars done in the past in terms of characters from the feminist tradition? Are there any gaps that might have been missed that you think the presenter might need to attend to as part of their research? So you can make suggestions here. This then leads on to the criteria number 3, which is the demonstration of a high level of digital literacies in the production of a digital artifact. Now, this is important because this is not just about being kind of flashy, right? But rather how effectively is the presenter planning to do their digital artifact? Do you think that they're doing enough to demonstrate a high level digital literacies, right? It's not just enough to write a series of blog posts. That's just not enough. There has to be some degree of original audio, video material being created to do that analysis that are part of those blog posts, for example. Is someone just posting a few images to Instagram, right? That's not enough. There has to be deep, sustained, interesting analysis that is being indicated in the pitch. Don't worry about number 4. That will be assessed in part 2, the beta. But you can think about it in terms of how it will be assessed. So, for example, if there are early episodes of a podcast, how are they going to get feedback for that? If they're writing a sustained video essay, how is the presenter going to get feedback on early drafts and so on? 5 is the coherence of expression or organization and professional presentation of the digital artifact in the contextual essay. You need a schedule, right? Does the pitch have a proper production schedule? Is the pitch in the contextual post particularly, or the video telling you what's going to happen in week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10, right? Is there a clear communication of what this project entails each week? The concept of professionalism is a little bit tricky. Just make sure that the pitch is conveying a clear sense of audience, right? Is the material appropriate for that audience? Has the presenter really thought about who their audience is for their project, for their digital artifact? Please remember that we don't judge the pitch on the quality of the audio or video, right? We're not assessing edits. You can record on your phone. That's totally fine. But rather, we're assessing the degree of effectiveness of communication. And this is sometimes, often to do with the attitude that the pitch presenter is providing, is presenting, right? It's an important part of the effectiveness of communication to be interested and engaged in what's being said. Then you want to think about the kind of structure and organization of the pitch. Is it all over the place, or is it logical? Is there a good flow? And then you go to the 6th criteria, which is the degree of conformity with the learning assessment task instructions. Is there anything missing? Is there any kind of elements that you think, it was okay, but maybe you could work on improving for next time? Then to take your feedback to the next level, you might like to go and do some research about the media text or about the analytical framework and offer some sources, some academic or popular sources that you think might be of benefit to the presenter. Now, don't just drop these in. You have to explain how you think the source that you're providing is relevant and how you think it might help them and increase the sophistication of their analysis. This is really important, particularly if you're looking for a D or an HD. Okay, once you have done your feedback and you have covered that, you will then write blog post number 3. So blog post number 3 is a critical self-evaluation of your work. This is really important, right? So you don't need to tell us everything about the pitch. You can give us a 1-sentence summary of each of the 3 pitches, put a link to them, and then use a screenshot of your comments. So as you've written your comments out, take a screenshot and they can be embedded in your blog post. So you don't need to replicate what you've already done. Rather, what I'm interested in that 300 to 500 words, 2 to 3 minute audio video post for number 3 is what you've learned from the process. In going through, engaging with someone's pitch, thinking about what they've done, thinking about what they did really well, what they might have improved, that will help you think about your own pitch and think about how you might have improved or what you might need to do going forward in terms of applying the feedback that's been given to you or thinking about the lessons that you've learned in doing that feedback. So how are you going to improve your approach based on your feedback and the feedback that you've received? All right, this is a self-evaluation, a critical self-evaluation. And this will then help you set yourself up for now doing the DA and taking you up to the beta progress report in week 8 and week 9. All right, once you've done that, you will then grab the cover sheet for the blog posts, which is right here, and you will submit the pitch to the Moodle Dropbox in week 4 and the blog posts parts 1, 2, and 3, blog posts 1, 2, and 3 as part 1 of this task, which is due in week 5. All right, I know there's a lot to go on with there, but it is pretty straightforward once you get the idea. I will be on Discord. I'm doing several hangouts a week to answer questions about digital artifacts, blogs, pitches, concepts, how to increase your research, how to expand your analytical framework, how to apply the framework. So I'm really keen to talk with you on Discord there. And apart from that, I will see you in the next video. Thanks.